I had just ended a long day of meetings and discussions in a faraway place when my phone chimed unexpectedly. I was on the quiet flight home, my mind straying over the specifics of the business deal I had just closed, when the screen brightened. Up with a call from my 12-year-old son, Jason. His name showing on the caller ID made my heart skip a beat. But nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to hear. I said in a soft, concerned tone, "Jason? Hello? What's wrong?" His voice came across unsteady and small, as if he were attempting to hold back tears that threatened to spill. "Over. Dad. Mom booted me out," he managed to say, each syllable heavy with hurt and uncertainty. In that second, a cold chill came over me, and I felt my stomach twist into knots. I remembered the numerous evenings spent at home, trying to grasp the growing distance between Olivia and me, never suspecting that one day our fractured relationship would break apart the life we had built together. The image of Jason, standing, alone outside in the cold with nothing but a small rucksack for company, flashed vividly in my mind. I gripped the phone tightly, as if holding onto it could anchor me to a reality that was swiftly slipping out of control. "Jason, why?" "What did she say?" I questioned, my voice firm yet trembling with emotion. He hesitated for a moment, as though trying to find the right words amid the shock. Then he replied, "She said we weren't needed anymore." And in that single sentence, my world came crashing down. My heart pounded as I struggled to piece together my fragmented thoughts. I could feel rage welling up inside me, a scorching, burning fury at the betrayal of trust and love that I had thought defined our family. Olivia, my wife of 14 years, had been distant and secretive lately. But I had never believed she would do something so heartless, to throw our son out, without a hint of sorrow or explanation. My mind raced with memories. Jason's laughter filling our home, the promises we had made to protect him from the hardships of life. A surge of determination mingled with sadness. "Where are you now?" I asked hurriedly, already rising from my seat. His reply was faint but resolute. "Aunt Michelle's house." Relief flooded me, knowing he was safe, for now. But the shock of the incident left me reeling. I could practically see him standing there, cold and alone on a rainy street corner, his backpack a lonely testament to a broken childhood. With every beat of my heart, I knew I had to act. I grabbed my phone, my fingers trembling as I booked the next flight home. The irony was brutal. Just hours ago, I had been celebrating a career milestone. And now I was desperately trying to rescue my son from a home that had suddenly turned hostile. It felt like I had been thrown into one of those interactive stories I used to play in my free time. A game where every decision mattered, where one wrong choice could lead to heartbreak. I wanted to reach out, to tell Jason I was coming, that I would fix this. But deep inside, I also felt a burning resolve. Olivia had just made the worst mistake of her life. As the plane surged above the gloomy clouds, my mind churned with memories of better times and the striking contrast of the present. I replayed every moment of our family life, searching for a sign, a clue, something that could have warned me of this disaster. In the quiet cabin, I made a silent vow. Nothing would destroy the bond between me and my son. Every second on that flight, I felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on me, along with the raw pain of betrayal. Even as the engines hummed steadily beneath me, my mind was a storm of emotions. Worry for Jason, fury at Olivia, and an unshakable determination to reclaim what was rightfully ours. How had something that once promised a secure future crumbled so fast? How had I been left with nothing but shattered dreams and a son in desperate need of his father's protection? This moment, heavy with anguish and loss, also became the spark that ignited my resolve. I wasn't just coming home to save my son. I was coming home to rebuild our family and to confront the darkness that had invaded our lives. Every word Jason had spoken on that call echoed in my mind, and with each reverberation my decision hardened. I would do everything in my power to restore the love and security that had been so ruthlessly stolen from us. The journey back home was no longer just about returning. It was about reclaiming a life that had been torn apart in a single heartbreaking moment. Sitting on the plane, the hum of the engines a steady background noise, I tried to slow the racing of my thoughts, but Jason's voice still rang in my ears, every syllable dripping with pain and betrayal. I glanced out the small window, watching the dark clouds drift by, and replayed the last few weeks in my mind. Olivia and I had been married for 14 years. Years. Filled with storms and sunshine alike. I had always believed love would bridge any divide. But now, I was forced to see a side of her I had never imagined. As the plane sliced through the sky, my mind snapped back to that moment, when Jason's shaky voice revealed that his own mother had turned him away. The image of my son, standing, alone, cold, with only a small rucksack for comfort, burned itself into my memory. I had trusted Olivia to protect our family. Now I realized my worst fears had come true. It felt like the ground beneath me had crumbled, leaving me suspended in a void of disbelief. I tried to steady my mind, but the silence of the cabin was shattered by the buzzing of my phone. I reached for it, expecting a message from Michelle or maybe Jason with more details. But instead, it was a text from Olivia. I hesitated, my heart heavy, then opened it. "I'm moving on, and you should too. Boyfriend is moving in. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." The words struck me like a frigid smack in the face. I glanced at the television, feeling both a bitter fury and a deep sense of betrayal. In that moment, I couldn't help but look back on how Olivia had changed over the past months. I had noticed small elements at first. Her new style, the way she lingered over her appearance in the mirror, and how she often made excuses for late nights. I had brushed them aside, believing they were merely signs of her seeking her own space. But as days passed, the signs grew too evident to ignore. I began to sense that Jason was more of a bother than a joy to her, a weight that disrupted her neatly guarded life. And now, with her letter laid bare on my phone, I saw everything for what it truly was. A treachery so profound that it sliced through my heart. A slow smile formed across my face once I understood that she had underestimated me. "Oh, Olivia, you have no idea what's coming," I thought silently, a promise of retribution building in the quiet parts of my thoughts. It was as if I had been waiting for this moment. A moment when I could finally take control of a scenario that had spiraled so far out of hand. The calm determination I had cultivated over many years of business negotiations now coursed through me, ready to be unleashed in my personal life, because I knew I had a plan. A well-developed strategy that had been growing in the back of my mind long before this revelation, every late night, every hidden chat I had overheard, every distant look in her eyes. None of it had been accidental. They were the tiny signs of a betrayal that had grown too enormous to ignore. And the message from Olivia? That was the final confirmation. She had chosen her path. One that led away from the family we had built together and into a life that now included another man. With trembling fingers, I opened my email and saw the reply from my lawyer. A message confirming the adjustments I had made long ago. I had taken precautions to preserve what mattered most: my son, Jason, and the property that represented years of hard work and sacrifice. The email, delivered earlier that day, verified that Olivia's name had been erased from the deed. In that moment, I felt a thrill of empowerment. I had built this life with my own effort and tears, and no one, Not even Olivia had the right to dismantle it without consequences. As the plane began its descent, my thoughts became clearer. I realized this was not just a personal betrayal, but a threat to everything I had fought for. I told myself that I would confront Olivia, that she would face the consequences of her choices, that I would do this for Jason, a boy who deserved to be loved, nurtured, and kept safe. I had always dreamed of a strong family, one that stood together against any challenge. Now, that dream was hanging by a thread, and I was determined to reweave it, no matter the cost.